for being here and letting me read for you. This is Light and Bone Tarot, and we are doing a reading, how you impact those you are close with. So this is going to be just a reading all about you and your impact on people. I'm assuming it'll be mostly positive, but maybe there will be a couple points that, I don't know, are just like a heads up or something. But this is your reading. We have 4 oracle cards here, and just pick the card that jumps out at you, whether it's like the word, the picture, the colors, whatever it is, that's your pile. So I just say don't overthink it. Just go with your first gut feeling, whatever card your eyes land on. And I'm going to zoom in here so you can see these a little bit better. We have flying fish, crystal, wolf, and sea urchin. So we have 3 of the 4 elements here. The flying fish is actually air, the crystal is earth, the wolf is earth, and the sea urchin is water. So I picked these at random. We're missing ether, but that's okay, although it's a good one. And fire too. Okay, well anyway, the gang's almost all here. And yeah, pick your pile and I will see you for your reading. Thank you, goodbye. Hello, pile 1. Thank you so much for being here. We are doing a reading, how you impact those you are close with. So what's your impact on people? And this will be an interesting reading. I'll make it interesting. We'll get some details about you, maybe things you knew or suspected or didn't even know about yourself, but it's really going to lay like a lot into, I don't know, kind of like who you are and how you impact people. So let's see. I'm going to start with some tarot and then oracle, and we'll just move all around here. But I want to see you like as a, not necessarily, oh my goodness, just as an impact, but just kind of like your energy, your vibe. I'm going to take 3 cards and just like feel you in 3 cards, and then we'll go from there. So this is you right now for the sake of this reading. Okay, 5 of Cups, 10 of Swords, Earth Mother. So the first 2 cards I pulled over, 5 of Cups and 10 of Swords, they're heavy. They're intense. They are not, I mean, I don't want to say you're not the life of the party, but like, I don't really think you're the life of the party. I think there's a weight to you. I love that we have Earth Mother, which is essentially the Empress, which is truly my favorite card in the whole deck. This card balances this out. You're absolutely grounded. You are a realist. I do not think you're ever someone who's going to be in danger of like bringing the toxic positivity. I think you're very much like, but you know, you're the glass is half full, but you sound like the glass is half empty. Like you're always going to let people know that things aren't necessarily perfect, or that there's an edge. There's an edge to you. There's a little bit of grit to you, but I think, it's authentic. Like there's an authenticity to you. And I do think for those who get to know you, there is a vulnerability as well, but there's this, like, you're just very real. Let's put it that way. This is an Earth card. It's a very heavy and wonderful and beautiful and even very sensual Earth card. I always have to say that with the Empress, because there's just this, like, it's like the person you want to be in the deck. Everyone should want to be the Empress. She's heaven, she's balanced, she's creative, she's fluidity, she's just all sorts of wonderful, luscious things. It's okay if you don't want to be the Empress. I mean, there's a lot of great cards in the deck, but seeing you as a whole, you do have this kind, and I will say either maternal or almost maternal piece to you. So you really do care about people. You really do. Those that you love, I think you love deeply. You want well for them. There's this nurturing aspect to you. It could even be like a bit of a homemaker piece, but like you have the people you love, that's your family, that's your brood. But you're not necessarily like this big cheerleader. And I think this probably just right here, and I don't see how this ties into flying fish. I think this is just like the pile you chose. Just seeing these 3 cards about you, you impact others because you do bring this kind of dose of like realism. And I think it's this piece that people want to hear. I think you help people see new perspectives. I think you actually probably like heal people quite a bit. Like they really want to hear what you think about things, because it's just a slightly different dose of, I don't know, like information or help or whatever than they've gotten. And I think you probably challenge people to see other sides of things, like other facets, other angles. Because the swords, I mean, if I take this for what it is, you're a thinker. You philosophize, you really think things over. You have a lot of different ideas and like theories going on in your head. I mean, you're in your head quite a bit, but you like people at the end of the day, or maybe not that much, but you like the people you like. You really like the people you like. And the Five of Cups, there's emotion here. There's water. There's a little bit of sadness. We see the heart. There's a little bit here of like, I wouldn't say this isn't the broken heart card. That is a different card. But it is a card of like loss. And I think it's just that like realizing that there's always that sadness piece to things. Even when things are great, there's always the flip side, or the nothing ever lasts forever kind of piece. Like it's just this darkness, but it's not really dark. It's just like, it's just another angle, another way of assessing things. And that really is you. I do think you impact people in a really beautiful way given this, because people need this. There always has to be, every friend needs one of these people. It's actually a very refreshing perspective, I think, at the end of the day, and it's different, and I think it's quite positive. I think you are quite positive, and people really like just hearing how you size up a situation and what your take on things is. And I do think you've probably brought a lot of your close friends, or the people that you do actually get to speak with, you've brought them some like solid advice. Like you were the one that really helped them move on. So yeah, I think just to start, that's a lot in 3 cards, but it's a pretty like, it's a very real message that I'm getting off of you. So I want to see what people love about you. It's kind of, I don't know, cliche, but let's see what people, or what they love / notice about you. What kind of stands out about you? And we'll see if it picks. So 8 of Pentacles, I would say absolutely a hard worker. This is about Pentacles. Wow. Yeah. More putting the work in, doing the work. Oh my gosh. Yeah. That's weird. A lot of work here, a lot of earth energy. Yeah, like there's so many ways we could say you're putting the work in. It could be you've done a lot of work on yourself. You've been through a lot, and you have this perspective and this way to help people. Like, I do think you're kind of a natural healer, but in a slightly different way. I don't think you're out there necessarily like performing Reiki or giving hands-on massages. I think it's more of like just in your words and your approach and your perspective. That's how you're really helping people. But you absolutely, obviously, could be doing other things, and that wouldn't surprise me at all. But I just think this is like, in some ways, almost your true gift is your perspective, and that impacts people. But how people see you, they definitely see you as a hard worker in whatever capacity, maybe every capacity. Maybe you've absolutely, like we said, put the work in on yourself. You've been on this journey, you've been through it, and you're continuing to always like build yourself, work on yourself, grow yourself. I have a feeling you are pretty successful in your own right, because there is this work piece here. You're not lazy. You see things for what they are. I don't think you're someone who thinks that like anything's going to ever be handed to you, or that you deserve something, or that, you're more deserving of something than someone else. I feel like you're just a pretty like non-judgmental person who sees things for what they are. And if you work hard, you'll be rewarded, because that's what the hard work will warrant. This just kind of seems like you. There's just a very, like, you're just a realist. You just see things as exactly as they are. Like, you don't put your own spin on things. You just kind of see something and size it up. And you're very, very logical, very quick. And even though you do have this emotional piece, it doesn't override. You aren't really emotional. I see this more as like a, how you have processed, you see things through the, like I said, half empty, half full thing. Like, you just can always see the negative, which isn't bad. There is always negative, and people probably need to see more of it just to kind of understand the situation a little better, or really take stock of things. And I just feel like that's where you come in. But there's so much more. So yeah, this is really, and so people are, in this last way, I do think they're inspired by you, because they do see you working. They see how, like, even though your mind might work like this, and it might look like you could just be ready to like hibernate all day and deal with things or not deal with things. You aren't that person at all. You're out there, you're doing things. You're just asking nothing from anyone. And I think you really inspire people to just be more self-sufficient, that's it. You are not the victim. I mean, that really just came to me. You are not the victim. So you really impact people to not play the victim card, whether those words like whether you've never thought of that, this is really, really, really also an impact you have on people. And it's a big one because people can easily play the victim, and then once they get into that narrative, they can hold on to it for a long time, and it's like, oh my gosh, like that is, so you just really help people see this other side of things. So I think this is great, and I like this about you, and yeah, you work hard. I believe you're quite successful, and there's just this genuine aspect to you. Let's see a little bit more about how you impact people, and maybe I can get off of like this storyline because it's, we've done it, it's been done. Let me see, what cards do I want to pull up? Okay. This is just, in a card, this is how you impact those around you. I am going to ask Spirit for a card to show how you impact those you are close with. Okay, here we go. Sun. Okay, so this is light. Sun. I do think this is you shedding light on things. I really do. I think it's perspective. You show people this new illuminating answer. Like this is, and there's this absolute warmth and positivity to it, but it's different. It's a light in the dark. It's something like positive with a little bit of edge as well. And I don't know why I got that from the Sun, but right away I was like, oh yeah, this makes sense. Cause this is you. It's this like, kind of like, I get it. And the sun can scorch, it can burn, it can definitely burn someone. It can definitely, too much of it is not a good thing. The sun, as amazing and bright and beautiful as it is, it comes with a warning, and there's always that too much of a good thing kind of thing. You are not too much of a good thing person. You do not suffer from this, but I feel like, I don't even know where I was going with that. I guess I'm just saying that the sun isn't always this like bright, sunny, warm, fuzzy kind of thing. There's that edge, and this is truly a little bit about how you impact people. And it's needed. Everyone needs it. You are definitely something that once people get a taste of you, like once they see you and feel you for what you are, and they need it, they want more of you. I think people really, really enjoy being around you. I think you're very refreshing without actually like being refreshing. It's this, okay. I want to see you again in a card, and actually I'm going to ask Spirit for, I have these like quote cards, which I'm back on because I actually forgot about them. And I want to see how Spirit would sum you up as a way of kind of describing an impact you have on those you are close to. And then I want to see from Spirit what your gifts are. But because you do have gifts, you have I've touched on them, but you absolutely have these gifts. This reading could be titled so many things, but okay, let's hear from Spirit what your impact is. Creator, water. This is not a water card. This is an air card. Spirit's funny. I don't know what that means. Creator, water. What does that mean? I mean, what is that as your gift? What does Spirit see from you? The water is emotional. You might bring up emotions in people. You might really, truly, I don't want to say like you create these emotions in people, but I think you do make people see things differently. This is a water card. It's the only water card on the table, actually. And I do think you really help people feel things. You kind of help them to feel this depth. You can quickly like take the surface or the trivial out of any like conversation or event or something that someone's going through. And it does seem like I'm reaching when I say this, but it's the message I get. So I do think there's a lot more depth than just these two words. I think you bring out a depth in people, and you help people feel things because of your perspective. And this really is your gift, and it is a true impact. Okay, I want to ask Spirit for your gifts. I'll come back to these because they're so random, they're fun. But in a card, this is, I'll take it. I'm just going to ask Spirit, what are your gifts when it comes to how you impact other people, which might very well be the same card, but we're going to go with this. Attraction, magnetism. Yeah, you do. I feel like I just said people can't get enough of you. Absolutely. It is this kind of like moth to a flame energy. Once you get going, they are attracted to you. And this can obviously be physical and like how you look, but that's not the piece here. It's like they want to get inside your brain. They want a little bit more of that because it is rare. They're not getting this from like every friend or family member. This is it's a unique perspective, and it's you. This is innately you, and people want it. They want you to listen to them and hear their story so that you can, give feedback and give perspective, quite frankly. So you are, and this might be exhausting for you. You might feel that people want more of you, more of this light, this energy that the sun kind of also stands for. It can become a bit much for you. And in fact, maybe your work is kind of like your escape, so that there's always something you can like get hands on with and like just throw your mind into it without, I feel like you could be someone who could always find yourself helping people if you didn't like set up boundaries, I think. So, but people also respect that you set boundaries. Like you're just a very, you're living your life right, it feels like. And I'm happy for you because I think you're doing, in a lot of ways, everything right, or almost everything. I don't know if anyone's doing everything right. Okay, let me see from Spirit in a card your gifts again, and I think I'll wrap the reading up with this. But yeah, I want to hear, or just input from Spirit. This is input. This is not so much advice, but it's her input. Maybe it's advice too. Gratitude again. So, I mean, this could be, we could give this card to anyone. It's pretty basic, but it is Spirit's card for you. And the gratitude again, I don't quite understand the again piece, but I don't know. It's something like over and over you do have to, what is it? It's almost like, sorry, I could adjust these cards all day and get nowhere. I do feel like there's this, like with each person you talk to, with each friend you help, with each time you give a piece of yourself, a bit of your time, a chunk of your time in your life, you almost do have to like remind yourself like this is a gift, and I am grateful for it. And maybe that does play up on the part of like if it feels taxing and if you need to like really check out and do your own thing and set boundaries, that is great. But you always seem to come back to this. You always know that this is kind of like, I don't want to say your place, but it's a true gift, and it truly is how you impact those you are close with. And I don't know if like you came here hoping this was going to be like more romantic or whatever, but this absolutely has a romantic piece. Like people who want to be with you in a relationship, romantically speaking, this is huge. This is how they see you too. And I always say like, it's dead sexy. It's fascinating. It's interesting. It's got a lot of depth. There's a lot there. And it impacts positively your relationship. So if you ever feel like it's a bit much or you're tired of it, or this gift you've been given is just exhausting, then just remind yourself again to be gracious that you have this and that you're able to help people in this way, and that this is how you impact people. Because some people impact people by annoying them or running them ragged or disrespecting them or whatever, and couldn't be further from how you impact people. So anyway, I hope you like this reading. I hope you picked pile 1 and this all tracked for you, because I think it's really cool and I really like the energy here, and I hope you're into it. So let me know if you are, please. That would mean everything. And like, subscribe, comment. Thank you so much, and I hope to see you again. Goodbye. Being here and letting me read for you. This is Light and Bone Tarot, and we are doing a reading. It's about you. It's how you impact those you are close with, those around you. Honestly, the last reading went better than I thought it would, so it's been pretty interesting. I probably would have picked crystal too, because I love crystals and they just seem so bright and fresh and clean. This is an earth card. I don't know if that means anything, but honestly, for me, that just means this is your pile. This is just the card that led you to this pile. So I am going to start this off the way I did the last reading, because it was a good one. And I want to see, in order to see how you impact people, I really want to see you in 3 cards, and hopefully this really tracks. Hopefully this is like your vibe, your energy, and how this would speak to like how you impact people. So Okay, let me get you in 3 cards. Okay, 2 of Cups, 9 of Cups, and 4 of Pentacles. This is fun, and I definitely get hit with this kind of energy that is sweet and fun, and yet we have the 4 of Pentacles here to kind of like turn it upside down in a way, but it's good. So just like things that come to me when I see this and I see you, the 2 of Cups to me, I just got hit with this like romance feeling. Like you love love. I think you love to be in love. I think when you love when your friends are in love, you love relationships and just all things love. Like there's this piece of you that really loves it. You probably love like the physical aspect of it, like just being close to friends and loved ones and lovers or whatever. Like you're probably someone who's very like hands-on and loving. Like you're just kind of that nurturer. Someone who gives like big, long hugs, kisses their friends on the cheek, like plays with their hair, whatever. Like, I just think like you're just very kind of like loving and mothering. And yeah, also I think you do love love. Like, I don't think you're someone who's going to be a skeptic or this kind of dark person. I do think the other reading was all about a semi-dark person who was actually very lovely. But like, they're not going to come in with this like rush of positivity. I do feel like you come in with a rush of positivity. However, it's not toxic. It's not over the top, but it is just kind of your vibe. I think you're very like high vibe. And I do think you are someone who likes to talk about like how staying positive can truly help you. And I believe staying positive can truly help you. I do think like a positive outlook is important. I feel like you're one of those people who really subscribes to that. And I get the crystal as your pile because there is this very like, there's something I think fairly woo-woo about you and but you're also like tapped in. You probably have a psychic energy. You have this like, I feel like you're someone who maybe you've manifested things successfully in your life and you like sharing, like, look, manifestation works, do this, think about that, stay positive, focus on this, like keep your vibe here. And to a lot of people, it might sound like nonsense, but it's worked for you. And you really would love it if all your friends did this because it's something you believe in. Like, I get that kind of like from you. You are someone who believes if you really want something and you work towards it and you do all the steps possible, you're going to have it. Like, and that is actually fantastic. That's great. I like this. You kind of do have this like positivity that washes over people. And again, it's genuine, it's sincere, it's you. People come to you for that. They know what they're going to get when they talk to you. And it's awesome. It doesn't mean you're always like super positive. And again, it definitely doesn't mean you're like this toxic positive, but you are there to let your friends know you want them to be happy, or family, loved ones, whatever. Like you want them to be happy and you kind of support them in like striving for that, whatever that means. I have a feeling you could get frustrated if friends were in like a relationship that didn't serve them. However, you want to see them happy and loved. So you get it. You just have, I think you're protective of your friends if they aren't in the right relationships, but that's fine. The other piece on here is the 4 of Pentacles, that there is this part of you that is also quite grounded and logical. I do think you kind of, I don't want to say like subscribe to the classic notion of like love and family and relationships, but I think whatever it is, you have like some doctrine that you believe very strongly in. You have your foundation is set. I think you really know who you are. You know what you want. You go after it. You stick to it. You follow it. I think you have like a set of rules that you follow, and you're kind of like almost rigid with yourself. But I'm going to say this is what people like and respect about you. This is like, these are all like very noble traits, I think. And they're things that friends, like people you're involved with romantically, family, they want this from you. They want to know that like you're the person that can talk to them about, they can turn their life upside down. They can get whatever they want. They can change things, but also like, here are, the rules you have to play by. And you're both sides of the spectrum, but I'm trying to put it with a word. And I feel like the more I talk about it, like I make you seem a little wacky, and you're not. You're fun. You are absolutely a little wacky and quirky. But there's just something very refreshing about you and very solid about you. There's I think the more people talk to you and the more they get to know you, this Four of Pentacles kicks in, and this is someone who's like secure. This is someone who knows themselves, who, you know, saves and who doesn't take risks. I mean, necessarily, like, this is someone who knows you're living your life exactly how you should be living your life. Like, you're not necessarily, you've probably made mistakes, but like, you've owned them and you've corrected them. You course correct. Like, you are a very self-aware person who course corrects. And I think as a result of like riding your own waves, you can speak to it and you can be like, look, you can go through this, but like approach it like this. That's what I did and it worked. And just like stay on this track. And I don't know, you're very motivating. You're very, very uplifting and you're very motivating. And people really, they dig this about you. There's something very like kind of light and floaty and soft about you. And I do think you're a friend that can absolutely like heal people when you touch them, if that makes sense. Like, or I guess that obviously makes sense, but if that doesn't sound creepy is what I mean. Like, you're that friend that can probably hug the people that don't really want to be hugged. We all have friends who don't love being hugged or touched every time you see them. And it's like a hug from you is kind of like, oh, like they can lean into it. And you're like, I don't know, you're just kind of like a mama bear. Even if you don't necessarily look like the typical mama bear, you are. And people, there's this warmth that kind of radiates off you. And when people want to feel better about themselves and their situation, they'll go to you. But also when they want a little bit of guidance, like, what would you do in this situation? Because I feel like you've been in all the situations, and what did you do that worked? And as opposed to the last pile where like the energy there was more like, well, I'd look at it from all angles and I'd find the one that makes the most sense and I'd analyze, you know, like that's a more logical kind of like tactical, harsh approach where you would be like, I don't know, what's in your gut? What do you want? Okay, go for it. Like, it's just kind of that real, like, guttural, what do you want? What does your gut tell you? What are your angels telling you right now? Like, I don't know, go home and meditate on this and do what you want. Like, it's just that's your vibe, but it's beautiful. It's fresh. I just say it's floaty. It's very like crystal, it's just very magical. There's just something really magical about you. And people absolutely, they get this, they see this, they love this. And already this is like how you impact people. So it is very cool. And I'm here for it. Your friends are here for it. Your loved ones are here for it. I feel like you're in a relationship. I feel like you've been in a relationship for a while, or being in a relationship just comes easily to you. People, once you meet someone that you feel a way about, like romantically, this person almost always wants you in their life. Like, I feel like it's not hard for you to be committed or attached or just in a long-term relationship, or maybe you're serial monogamous. That's fine too. But I feel like you're just very good at like finding someone and linking up with them. And it's usually like a very fun, positive experience. And that's you, and it's amazing. So that's how I feel like you are. And people, they like your dynamic. They like your relationship stories. They like knowing where you're at. Like, they don't care if your relationship looks perfect and is perfect. Like, it doesn't bother them because you have this way of like speaking to it that feels infectious. Like they could have it too. I just feel like that's your positivity. That's your impact. Like, when you talk to people and ask them like, yeah, what's in your gut? What do you want? Like, what are you feeling right now? They really believe like, yeah, I can do this. I don't know. It's just, there's just this like luck almost washes over people when you're with them. So, okay, I'm going to stop talking about these 3 cards because that was a lot from 3 cards. I want to see, this was you in 3 cards, but I actually want to see how you impact those around you in 3 cards. Like, what's your impact? And then we'll get into probably the same question with some oracle cards. But let's see your actual impact. Like, okay, so 5 of Swords, Movement of Cups, which is Knight of Cups, and 3 of Pentacles. Okay, so it's funny because much like the last pile, this up here told one story and then down here told a slightly different one. And I like this because there are these different sides of you. Like, you are so much more than one dimensional. And I think this is one reason why you're here watching this, or anyone I would like to think watching this in any of the piles, is because you are impactful to other people, and you are genuinely someone that people are fascinated with, because there are these different sides of you. Like, it is, so it makes sense to me that when I see your impact on these people it's deep, it's heavy. Like, people, the Five of Swords it's a pretty, like, not amazing card. It's a little bit of, like, I don't know, it's like trickery. It makes you kind of wonder if you've been stabbed in the back. It makes you really assess things. I don't think, so you don't have this impact on people. You're heaven, but you really do make people, I think, kind of like look at themselves. And I'm trying to think why I'm getting this message off of it, but you really make them look at themselves. However, you don't make them like ever really feel bad about themselves, but you make them see the side, like, okay, if you're feeling this way, if your gut tells you that, why do you think it does? Or why do you think you got yourself into this situation? Like, and then you'll flip it and be like, I want you to see that so that you can really go after what you want. But I do think you have a way of making people, like, they always feel good when they leave you, but you also can get them to see things that maybe it might be hard for other people to get them to realize. And I think this is because you have such kind of like this kind, loving way to you that makes people really want to, like, I don't know, just kind of look within. You really do help people to look within themselves. Okay, this is getting weird. Okay, so Movement of Cups, which is the Knight of Cups, which is also very romantic card. There's this romance, loved up piece. You make people, like, want to love. You make people love the idea of being in love. You make people feel like they want to be kind. You really do bring out this goodness. And if they are hurting people, or if they've done things that are wrong in this Five of Cups, you really make them address that. Like, you make people want to be better by also helping them see what they've done that isn't quite ideal. This isn't an easy thing to do. Like, this is a very unique balance where you can pull people out of funks, or like help them really address their problems, because you can help them see what they've done wrong and then, like, really lift them up afterwards. There's just this, you lift people, you really, really lift people. Three of Pentacles, this to me is like that teamwork. There's also that sense of, like, wanting to achieve something, setting out to do something. This card here, this Three of Pentacles, it's like, I just got this feeling you present as very, like, just floaty and easy, breezy, light, beautiful, like these just rays of color coming off of you. There's just this beauty to you. People are absolutely attracted to you. But I just feel like in this Three of Pentacles, and it's kind of a little bit of the Four of Pentacles, this is your depth. This is the part of you that's grounded, the part of you that's always working towards something, that part of you that's like, you know, your relationship might look perfect and it might be damn where, you know, near perfect, but people know you also work at it. Like, nothing's really coming too easily to you. You really do work at it. You do try to stay positive. You do try to not talk shit about people or gossip. Like, you really, you know, there's like the whole golden rule that you absolutely do subscribe to. And I think because of that, you can be so kind and warm and positive in situations where maybe other people wouldn't have a leg to stand on. You do. And the Five of Swords, there's a little bit of that too. Like, you can call people out on their bullshit, basically. Maybe if things aren't working out for them, you could be like, well, didn't you do this to them? Like, why'd you do that? If, you know, why do you think you're in this situation? I remember you saying this. Like, so that is kind of that, not like holier than thou stance, but you really, I don't know, you walk it like you talk it, basically. You really do. And again, looking at you, it might be a little deceiving. You might not look like you've got all that kind of complexity, but you do. And yeah, there's just this beautiful kind of like glow that comes off of you. And then all this depth that's peppered in, and then all this like light and fun and goodness and like love and rainbows. There's a lot here, but yeah, you love love. I really have to say that. And you love seeing the people you love in love and happy in love, and you just love seeing people happy. And this is obviously huge impact, and it impacts your relationships, like romantically, whether it's marriage or whatever it is you're doing, it impacts that tremendously. Your person is like, they are such a smitten kitten. They think you're perfection because you are so, I don't know, you're a great communicator, and you're just so easy to fall into these like conversations with that are like just really pivotal. Like you can really figure things out and get to the root of whatever someone feeling or thinking or where they want to be. You're a great communicator on top of all of it. And this is how you impact those you are close with. So I'm going to turn over a couple cards that, I feel like this reading might be longer than you want it to be. Okay. In one card, also, again, speaking to how you impact people, like just what's your positive impact on people? Because it's tremendously positive. And we have outer core, fluidity, ocean. This is definitely water. It's just this washing. It's like this cleansing, this washing of, this looks like Venus in a way coming out of that pearl or whatever. I don't know. But it feels like you just wash people over in love. You make people want to be in love. You make them love. You make them just want to be happy in their situation and find the good and just let it wash over them. That's truly how what I get out of this card. And maybe I get that more of like a vibe or a picture because the words are fluidity and outer core, but you really do want people happy. It's very sweet. But it's more than sweet. It's a million things more than sweet. You're not just nice. In fact, I don't even know if you're that nice. You're very, very real. This is really how you present. This is really you. And the Pentacles and even the Five of Swords here, it's like it does show that part of you that is very grounded, very honest, very true, very sincere, very intentional. Yeah, and I just think you're lovely. I think you're beautiful. I think you always have been. I think you're stunning. You probably look great in pictures. Like you're like a breath of fresh air. This is Spirit. We're going to do 2 cards. We're going to do how Spirit says in a card, you impact people, just a little bit more about your impact. And then she's going to give you like input, maybe advice. We'll see. So Spirit, this is how you impact people. Inflow with money. So this tells me, just turning this card over, maybe you have plenty of money. Maybe you have a lot of money. Maybe you and your partner are quite successful. Maybe it's just you and you've done really well, or you come from money. Whatever it is, I don't think you fall on this. I don't think you brag or boast. And maybe this is just like one more thing about you that people really respect. I think you really work hard to make this money or to not overspend or overindulge. There's just a lot that comes with this. But when I see the inflow with money, I really do think there's a lot about you that's very idyllic and kind of almost charmed, but you've also worked for so many things and you've never taken anything for granted. And you really always try to do the best thing in every situation. And there's nothing. Yeah, so if you do have money, a lot or plenty or more than you need, I do think you have a good way of just not letting that define you or turn you into someone who's douchey or whatever. So I like that. And, it showed up for a reason. So it might mean something else to you, but so that's good. And I'm happy for you. I hope you're absolutely in flow with money, and I hope there's a ton of money that flows to you. Okay, and also, input from Spirit. So this could be advice. It's just input. It's just a little bit more about you. And this is make a mission statement for your soul. So we'll take this as input. We'll take this as advice for your soul. So maybe, and this can almost be like a gift from Spirit saying, if you do this, if there's something you really want on this like deep cellular like visceral level, this like soul contract thing that you feel like you've always had coming to you in a way, like not like it's owed to you, but it's like a part of your destiny. If it doesn't feel like it's here yet, maybe journal about it or write about it. Like if there's a piece of your world that you're like, I just know it's coming, it's just not here, I can feel it, or I really want to be a little bit more like this, or like whatever it is that you want. I feel like if there's something you want, because I think you have a lot, but if there's something else you want, then I feel like this is something like meditate on it, think about it, manifest it, write on it, sleep on it, whatever it is. I think this is like a gift from Spirit being like, I can really help you with this, whatever this means. Maybe you have like latent anger you want to address, like as heavenly as you are. Maybe that's something you want. Maybe this is like about something you want to work on, or maybe this is about like something I don't know, haven't come to terms with that you did a long time ago. I don't know, whatever this is. Or it could be more selfish. Like it could be more just about something you really want or feel like in some ways you should be experiencing or expressing. I don't know, whatever it is. If it speaks to you, make a mission statement for your soul. I really think that you're going to kind of like get this, it's almost like there's a soul contract that's still, something's still kind of coming for you in a really lovely way. So ask for it. Okay. I think you're great. I think you're heaven. I think you're lovely. I think the people who know you think you're lovely. I think anyone you're with romantically, like just literally feels so fortunate and lucky to have you. I think your friends feel that way, your family. So yeah, I hope this tracks. Let me know, like, subscribe, comment. Either way, please. Okay, thank you so much. Goodbye for being here and letting me read for you. This is Light and Bone Tarot. We are doing a reading for how you impact those you are close with. The people you love, the people around you. How do you impact them? How do you affect them? What's your gift? All that. So this card is Wolf. It is an Earth card, and I love wolves. I mean, everyone should love wolves. They're pretty amazing. They're fantastic communicators. There's a lot of depth there. I mean, just going off the word wolf, I feel like we could tell a story, but I'm going to get you, like, your vibe, your energy, your soul, like, who are you in 3 cards, and we're going to help see how you impact people just based on these 3 cards. And we've told a pretty good story in the previous piles, so let's hope we keep that up. Okay. The Devil. This does not mean you're the devil, but it is intense. 4 of Wands. Love that. Okay. And we've got 9 of Swords. Okay. So this is heavy. It's definitely heavy, but this is about how you impact people. I guess, and this is, so if this doesn't speak to you right away, it probably isn't your pile, and there's, I hope, 3 other amazing ones. But this to me is like, you've been through something. And I don't always say that. I mean, I say that a lot, but I haven't said it yet on this reading. You've been through something, and maybe you've battled addiction. Maybe there's like a mental illness. Maybe there's something, I don't know, something that you deal with that is truly challenging, truly taxing, truly hard on you. It's something you deal with. It's your cross to bear. But you absolutely deal with it, and you absolutely have processed it, and you've come out just fine on the other side, but it's there. And I feel like you impact people because you can speak to a lot of maybe hardships, or you can like have a genuine like first person story, narrative, input, whatever, about when you went through this, or how you dealt with this, or you saw a parent go through this, and when you were a child, this is what you dealt with. I mean, there's a lot of different things here, and the devil, it doesn't mean you're the devil. You're not the devil. For me, this could represent, maybe you have struggled with addiction, or maybe you had a parent or a family member that you were close to, or even like a boyfriend when you were younger that struggled with it, and it just imprinted on you. Like there's something that you've been through some kind of trouble. And so that to me is what the devil is. It's not like you, although it could have been something you personally have experienced firsthand, like from yourself. But whatever it is, that doesn't matter. That's not the point. But this is how you impact others, because you really, really, you've been through it, and it has, just like chewed you up and spit you out at some point in your life, or maybe it's a constant battle, but it's there, it's real. You can speak to it. You can heal people. Like you're a healer now. And the 4 of Wands to me is like, there's such a light that comes off of this card. This is such a fun card. It's a card of like everything, of like ceremony, of love, of people coming together, of sharing, of like community. It is just that like happy ending card for like, and everything, just tie a bow on it. Everything's great in the end kind of thing. Like we were fighting here, and now we're all celebrating and drinking wine together. Like you can really, I think, help people come full circle. Like you can find them in like the depths of their despair, whatever that is, and then bring them to this place of like, okay, this is now you in your life really is great, or here's something beautiful about your world. Like I just feel like this is, and you, I think, have done this kind of situation as well, where you've dealt with the worst and now you're making absolutely the best of it. And maybe you're doing really well. Maybe like things are going really well for you. And this 4 of Wands is like, people can see just how good things can be. But some people have had like really fairly idyllic lives and childhoods. And like I said, if that doesn't speak to you, if you're like, I just haven't dealt with any of this, then maybe it's something a little more trivial. Maybe you were pushed very, very hard to succeed or to be an athlete, or, you know, to always like do well in school. And this became very stressful for you, because this is a card of like anxiety and nightmares and stresses, like something that maybe really gave you this kind of like trauma, or I don't want to say PTSD, but like this, like, oh my gosh, like now if you see a pool, you're like, I can't even look at a pool because I just think of like how hard my parents pushed me to whatever, you know. And then your parents could be the ones that were like acting in a way that, you know, pushing you to do something they want to do, whatever. So there's different ways you can do this, but whatever it is, it's something that you've been through, and you, as a result of it, can really heal others. And I really do think, especially when I see the Four of Wands on the end here, you are a healer. You definitely have this healing component to you. And, you are not full of shit. You are very real. You're very like cut and dry. You probably have a very dry sense of humor. But I just feel like there's something actually quite funny about you. Like you're, I don't want to say sadistic, but you're like funny. Like there's this rawness to you, this edge, this grit, this like heavy dose of reality. So yeah, people want to hear your story. They want to hear it when they're hurting. They want to hear it when like they're going through it. They want to hear it so they can give a friend advice. Like people just, they need this from you, and you're a healer. And I mean, if you told me you were a therapist, or if you help people through addiction, or if you yourself were just like a puddle on the ground at one point and now people can come to you and hear your story, I don't know, like it's just, there's something to it. Maybe you're in a recovery group and like you've really, really helped people in this group with your story or whatever. This really is, and this is huge. So this is you genuinely impacting and healing. Like you heal people around you. That's how you impact them. You truly heal them. Mind, body, spirit, soul. You're a healer. You're like a little shaman kind of. And the wolf, it does track for that. The wolf is, I mean, there's so much strength and beauty and like stoicism in the wolf. They're so strong. They're so fiercely independent. They've been through shit, fights, death. They've seen it all. And they're strong and they're badass, and they're still being, you know, hunted. I don't know if I know they're not extinct. They're probably endangered. So yeah, you also are in rare supply. You're special. You're unique because you're not the only one with, well, you're, you know, kind of like the only one with your story, but like you're not the only one that's been through something. But you have turned it into a gift to heal. And I really do feel like you're healed. And these two little flowers here, just taking the Four of Wands message out of it, which is also a beautiful message. To me, this is like that. This is your light at the end of the tunnel. You are at the light at the end of your tunnel. Like you're there, you've reached it, and you really help other people get through it and see it. And, okay, so this is you. And I'm trying to think, cause this is like so strong. And okay, I want to see a little bit more about how you impact people. I mean, this is like you, but like, let's see what kind of an impact this has on people. How does this actually affect people? And it's pretty, you are intense. Eight of Pentacles. I mean, I already know what I'm going to say about that. Ace of Swords. Yeah. And Heart of Cups. Okay. So you make people want to get their mind right. You make them want to get on track. You truly inspire people to like get moving, to get to work, to just get their life together. You make people want to figure out what it is that like makes them happy, to be the best version of themselves. You make them want to like feel things without whatever it is, or feel things other than pain. Like you just really lift people. You really lift people. You heal them. And you just like, you have a unique way of doing this. Again, I get this message, like you really want to make people work for themselves and just get their mind right, get on track, get things right within their life. And without like, the more and more I talk about that, I'm like, I don't even know what I'm talking about, because I feel like all of a sudden I'm like picturing, I don't know, like addiction or something. And I don't want to speak too heavily to that, because I don't, want to count out the 10 people watching this. But I feel like your impact, you're just such a healer. And I could almost end this reading here. I feel like there's always one reading in the group where I'm like, okay, it's been 8 minutes. I've said everything I need to say, but that is you. Okay. In a card with a picture on it that's not tarot and an oracle card, I want to see how you impact those around you. And it, a little bit more, hopefully this just talks about like how amazing you are. Like I can really sing your praises, even though there's something like magical and like deeply healing about you. But, okay, Fury, bushfires. So yeah, I think you really, you help people get angry. You help people see themselves. You help people like just start fresh. There's this fury, this anger, this madness, this chaos. Like this heat, this like, you have to flee a situation. Like you really help people. I don't know, you can help them see this in themselves. You can help them like see their current situation for what it is. But there is just, when I see this, it's not just about you making people see something. It's about you healing them. I'm going to try not to say one more time that you really heal people, but I think to me it's such a strong message. There's something here that's like so, and maybe you knew this, but maybe you didn't know it quite to this extent. Like there is a true impact you have on people. This to me is also impact. This is like, it's almost like the Tower card in tarot where it's like nothing's the same again. Like once you get to imprint on someone in a very positive way that they asked for, nothing's the same again in their life. Like you have forever changed their life in a way that is, it's like now they get to move forward and do their thing and heal and progress and just live life. So yeah, there is definitely that. And the wolf is, she's not always, I don't know if she's ever easy to be around. I mean, I don't think you're someone who isn't easy to be around, but I think you are a dose of reality. I think you aren't for everyone, but, and it's almost like people have to ask you, like they have to ask for this. Like you're not necessarily going to go up and offer unsolicited advice to people. Like they have to ask for it. Like they have to let you in. But once they do, it's like, okay, here I am. Like there's something really actually, and I'm going to get some cards on this because there's a calm to you. There's like something very calming, very soothing, very cleansing. Okay. What's something about you, I'm going to ask Spirit, that you didn't know that speaks to your impact on people? Like what's something else that you do? How else do you affect people? In all of this, there's even more like of an impact you have. So let's see what that is. And this is voice, speaking your words, speaking your voice. So you probably give people confidence. With this, you help them speak up. You help them address. I mean, everything in this is about like other people's pain. It's so weird. This is so dark and yet not, but like, I don't know. And again, you'll know right away if this pile isn't for you. Not every pile's perfect, but you do help people find their voice, and it's so important. And you also can speak so eloquently to just about anything. Because truly you aren't like, you've moved on from whatever it is, whatever you've dealt with, your pain, your whatever it is, you've really moved on for it. But now you're just this like vessel kind of, not just, you are a vessel to help other people. And the fact that you can be so, effective is like, maybe it's a blessing and a curse. Maybe you're tired of this. Maybe you don't want this anymore. But I think it's in you. And I think it heals you too as well. I think this gives you a lot of life and energy and purpose. And this pile, this is not for everyone. But if this is you, I hope it makes you feel good. And I hope you realize like how strong and just impressive you are. Just so freaking impressive. So strong, so proud. So like, it's not for me to say I'm proud of you, but in a way that I would observe this and be like, damn, that's impressive. I would be proud. I would be proud to call this person my friend. I would be proud to call you my friend or whatever. Or lover or whatever. Okay. I'm going to get, not this. I'm going to get words from Spirit and see if these track at all. This is what Spirit wants you to know. And it's probably something lovely and amazing. And then we've got a gift from Spirit. Spirit wants you to know this, and then we have a gift from Spirit. So this is what she wants you to know. Balance. There's so much to say about balance, harmony, balance, perspective, keep things, I don't know why I said perspective, but keep things in balance, not to, I don't know, keep the scales even. No excess, no, I don't know. There's a lot we can say about balance, but I think she is saying that she sees you living a very balanced life. And there's a lot of, that's just very noble, very respectable, very noble. Not that exciting or sexy, but it is in a card. It doesn't sound that exciting or sexy, but there's such a strong, beautiful message here. And it is dead sexy when someone is living a balanced life. I mean, anyone who is out of balance or out of whack, I think this is like spirit saying she sees you in your balance. This is basically it. This is something you want in a partner. Like it's funny when I said, I made a joke and I'm like, oh yeah, as your lover. Cause I just feel like there's something about you that's like you pull people in. You are just, there's just something so raw. And that is so, there's so much attraction in that. There's so much like, you make people feel things, and it's sexy and it's appealing. So there's that part of you too, which is kind of like a gift that I think you could or maybe have exploited, but right now you're just appreciating the fact that you know this is true. Okay, one more. This is Spirit's input for you. What does she have? You are epic. I love that because she doesn't always come through with great messages in this stack, but you are epic is, and it kind of matches the bushfires. I don't know. I like when colors kind of align. You are epic. You're so big. You are bigger than life in so many ways. And, you do impact people. Obviously I've talked about it actually it's only been 15 minutes. I'm going to stop this reading because I don't want to say the same thing over and over, but I'm just kind of in awe of you. And I'm sure if I met you and you told me your story, I would be like more deeply in awe, but you're very, I don't even know you. I can't even see you. And I'm like attracted to you. I'm like, ooh, who's this person? I want to sit down and talk to them. I want to hear their story. I just want to hear them talk. I want to pour a glass of wine and like hear what you have to say. And even hear stories of like people you've helped or healed. Like how did that go down? What did that look like? Like what's your story? And then you'd probably help me share something and find my voice. Like it's like a little session with a shaman. You're like a best friend who's also a shaman. Okay. Thank you so much for watching this. Let me know if you liked this reading, subscribe, comment, whatever feels good. Thank you so much. Okay. Bye. Hi, this is Light and Bone Tarot. Thank you so much for being here and letting me read for you. We are doing a reading for how you impact those around you, those you are close with. What's your impact? Like, how do you affect people's lives? This has been a really amazing reading. This is pile 4. And, it's good. This is water card. I'm not going to speak to the sea urchin just yet because I don't know if it plays in or not, but either way, it's your pile. It doesn't matter if it plays in. This is your pile, your message. When I think of the sea urchin, I do think of like protection and like a hunter. I don't know. I think of a lot of things, but I don't really think it plays into this pile. It just, I don't know. Maybe it does. Doesn't matter right now. Okay. How you impact others. I'm going to do 3 cards that are kind of like going to show me your vibe, your energy, who you are. And it is kind of in short how you impact others, but it's you. It starts to tell your story and why you're so effective and what makes you great. Okay. 3 of Wands, 7 of Cups, 9 of Cups. Okay. You're a dreamer. I mean, you are, which I don't think you're not, I don't think there's any connection here. You're a dreamer. You're impassioned. You are creative. I think you're probably very smart. And I say this because if you weren't very smart and you were just an impassioned dreamer, you'd be annoying, and your impact on people would probably be that you're like a hot mess and you annoy people. You don't. You make people feel, I think, sometimes like crazy and impassioned. And I'm going to try not to say that word a lot, but there's something very like, you are very smart. You are very creative. You are an artiste. You are capable in ways that like no one saw coming. You are like, you're the secret weapon. You're all these things. You can I mean, you can read a room, but you can also, like, you're not afraid of social engagements or speaking in public. I don't think you suffer from this kind of like crippling fear or anxiety, which is interesting because fear is something I could assign to the sea urchin, and I'm not. People may fear you in a way that your confidence is through the roof. Like, you are someone who just, you are living your best life. You are in control, and yet you're fantastically out of control, but you are absolutely in control. You're just a ride. You're a roller coaster. You're chaos. You're a hot mess, and yet you're like perfect balance. Yeah, you're just a bit of an enigma. The more I get going on you, it's funny because it's all these things that, like, it's, you're like the person everyone gravitates towards. You are the epitome of the moth to the flame. I think, like, you are the light in the party that everyone wants to brush up against, touch, shake hands, hug, hear what they have to say. What does their voice sound like? What are they talking about? What are they drinking? Like, there's just something. I mean, I'm sure, like, if you are ordering something and there's like multiple people at a table ordering it, like, it just, as soon as you order something, people are like, oh, I'll have what they're having. She's having, I'll have that too. It sounds good. Like, people want to do what you're doing. They want to think what you're thinking, wear what you're wearing. And of all the other piles, so there is absolute depth off of you, but there's this surface piece, and this surface piece, it's not an insult. It's that part of you that's like so appealing, so magnetic, so anyway, like, so aesthetically pleasing to, like, you're on point. And it's something you work at. It's something you're aware of, and people, also your art. It's your brand. You are kind of like your own little brand in the same way as well. And this is why I think you're smart, because again, if you weren't smart and if you didn't have the depth to back this up, the care, the sincerity, the funny, I think you are so funny. You are like, God, you're like that. You're the funny hot chick. I mean, you are the whole package. You are the whole package. And this reading, I could sing your praises because I just see you. And things do tend to work out for you, but it's kind of by your own design. You are the mastermind. I mean, you really are. Like, I feel like you're the person that if you date the person you want to date, it's not by accident. Like, you knew they would be at this party. You knew they would see you wearing this. You knew you'd bump into them there. You knew that person was friends with them. And I mean, again, these are not, in the grand scheme of life, big things. Like, these aren't going to, shape who you are, but they're just a lot of little things that add up to you. Like, you are in control of your world. You're like the curator of your big, beautiful world. So this pile reads and comes off slightly different than the others, but you know what? I like that it does, because this is you. And it doesn't mean, honestly, that you couldn't go back to one of the other piles and have there be that edge and that grit and that angle, like that angular piece that's also there. Cause those piles, it's not to say they couldn't speak to you, but thank goodness for you that you also get to be this, because this is a ride. This is exciting. This is sexy. This is everything. Like, I know you as a friend. Like, I have friends like you, and I'm just always kind of in awe of you. Like, oh, they're just so, I mean, you're not perfect, but you just have this energy that life is fun for you. And not all the time, but it's, you know how to have a good time. You say yes to things. Like, you're up for anything. And I mean that not in a like careless and reckless way, but in a like, you're here for it. You're here to enjoy life. You are an enjoyer of life. And I don't think you let things like fears or insecurities get to you. And this impacts other people. This makes people want to like subscribe to you, they want you to wash off on them. They want to be next to you. They want to be your friend. They want to be associated with you. You just have this. And, I'm sure you're a good person. I'm sure you are a very good person. I'm sure it's easy to look at you and think you aren't a good person. And I'm sure there are people who are jealous of you and feel a certain way about you, or feel like they're in a competition with you, but you're your own. You are on your own level, your own ride. You are just your own person. And again, I do feel like any other of the piles, if you felt that one jumped out at you, can also give you another perspective. But, I don't even know that you need it, because there's a lot here. I mean, we're going to do this in, 15 minutes or something, but there's a lot more to you. But yeah, this is cool. This is you. And this impacts people. This even motivates people. Like, I mean, this is so silly to say, but like people might look at your outfit or your hair and be like, I want hair like that. I want an outfit like that. I want my skin to glow like that. I want those shoes. Like, and we all kind of need this. Like, it is nice to see things that we want, like things to strive for. And you're not perfect. Not every single part of you is perfect. Like each time I say one of these things, it's like just one of those has to apply to you. But like you are very curated is the perfect word for it. And maybe you do have a flourishing Instagram that does kind of sell your message or your story or your brand. And you know what? Good for you, because if it was easy, more people would make money doing it. So good for you if that's the case. Okay. I want to see how you are impacting others, because this is a lot about you and I get it. But yeah, how does this impact people? What's your gift? What's your contribution to society that is truly uplifting? And it is, and there is something here. And yeah, I like you. I like the energy here. It's fun. It's exciting. It's sexy. It's everything. So okay, how are you impacting people? The moon. I do like that. Death. Okay, it does not mean death, but it's actually a good thing. So bear with me. Yeah, this is okay. So you are, even though you present and this is you and people see it and they love it and they're here for it and they want it and they just want to rub up on you. You're also, there's this complexity to you. There's this like almost dare I say, like rags to riches story with you. There's this part of you that once people get to know you, or maybe this is part of your brand, you are like you can do it too kind of vibe. You are here to lift people up. You really genuinely lift people up. You make people want more for themselves, and it's okay if they want just hair that they love, or if they just want to get this one outfit. You want them to want things for themselves to make them feel better, to elevate them. You're an elevator. You elevate people. You are infectious in this way, but it really gives people, you do make people's lives richer. And by this, it is a gift and it is a good thing. And that isn't trivial. You do make people almost like want to start fresh. Like you help people with like these cycles. And that's what I get out of death. Death to me is like, it's always new beginnings. It's the end of one thing and the beginning of another. Like people can, if you talk to people or you get to know them, or you like have a way of like imprinting on them, they want a little bit of what you're doing. They want a piece of that. And I do think there's a story here with you where I don't think you've always lived this completely charmed life. I think there are parts of you that are very, there's this realness to you. There is this edge to you. And the moon here is that mystery. There's a piece to you, a story that not everyone knows. There's a backstory. And I have a feeling it is heavy and it is a little darker, and it makes this part of you that much more likable. I don't think you were like, I don't know, born with a silver spoon in your mouth. And if you were, then you've been through some things where like who you are now it's authentically you. And you're just this kind of like bubblegum beauty, but it is, and that doesn't mean, it doesn't mean you're perfect. Do you know what I mean? Like but you like what you see when you look in the mirror. You feel good. You feel confident. You like who you are, and it makes you shine. That's really what I mean when I say you're attractive, like, and you're beautiful and you're perfect. Like you are so happy with yourself because you feel good about yourself. You support yourself. You're your biggest fan. And when you're not fine. We aren't always like that, but like you are, like if you're not going to lift yourself up and love yourself to pieces, then who is kind of vibe. And I really think that's you. And again, it has nothing to do with the sea urchin. So this really was just your pile that was your pile. This is your pile. But the Six of Swords is, to me, there's a change here. There's this like, you can do it too kind of vibe. You can change too. You can change your life in any way you want, whenever you want. You just have to set your mind to it. You just have to do it. Like you have something that inspires people. You're inspiring. And I wouldn't be surprised if you do have some kind of story, some kind of piece of you that is this like this uplifting story that helps people change their life and just like do things differently and see things differently. And there is this like branding feeling off of you, but it is authentic. It is sincere. And let's say you don't have a brand. Let's say you don't even have an Instagram account, but some of this does track. Then this is how you impact your friends, your partner, your relationships, your romantic partner or partners. Like, this is how you show up. People really, they just want a piece of this. And I think that you are a very inspiring and uplifting person, whether you realize it or not. But I think you do realize it. I think you know you kind of have this gift. And like, you would be, of all the piles, the motivational speaker. You know what I mean? Like, you would be the Tony Robbins. You would be the one that's like, I can impact you just by telling you my story and then having an end on the like highest, most like aspirational note. And like, here I am, I'm living proof. I'm doing this. I love myself. I high five myself in the mirror every morning. Like, I don't know, you're just, yeah, you're a breath of fresh air, and you are over the top, but you're not too much. You're inspiring. Like, full stop, you're just inspiring. And I just can see people wanting to compete with you or being jealous of you, but it doesn't get to you, and it doesn't affect you. It doesn't lower your vibe. And honestly, they're missing out on what you have to share and who you are. Okay, I'm going to take some of these oracle cards for a fun story. And I want to see like your impact on people in a card, and a fun, beautiful card. Let's ask Spirit, what's your impact? And I want this one right here. And we've got Comfort Hearth. And I mean, there's a baby and like a golden retriever or lab in this picture, so it is practically perfect. But there's just such a warm, fuzzy, loved up feeling in this card. And it, to me, here's the depth. Like, you make people want to, I don't know, like feel happy on like a cellular level. Like, you really make people want to feel good about themselves. And the Comfort in the Hearth, there's such a comforting, like home, happy home, sipping coffee by a fire, little baby by a fire feeling. Like, there's just this very like simplistic, happy vibe, and you make people want to feel that. You help them feel some kind of like simple pleasure, almost like this simple goodness. And I like the contrast, because you can appear flashy and over the top, but at your base or your root, you make people feel really good, simply, like just simply good. And again, it can be in the slightest little thing. It can be in hearing your story. It can be talking to you. It can be in you complimenting them on something genuinely. Like, I feel like a genuine compliment from you can go a really long way. Like, just this, yeah, there's just this simple pleasures piece to this. And I think that's part of what makes you dynamic, because you do understand simple pleasures. You do understand, you know, like a coffee by a fire, or holding a little baby, or being a mom, or whatever it is. Like, I just feel like there is that piece of you that's also very like toned down and authentic. And yeah, there is an absolute complexity to you the more I think about you and like contemplate this. But you really do inspire people to change, and to change themselves, and to push themselves, and to grow, and just kind of evolve. And people like doing this with you. They like this journey. They like being your friend. They like learning with you. I don't know, you could be you could be a teacher, you know what I mean? You could be a high school teacher, and your kids might just idolize you in a weird way. Like, and you have so much impact on them. And, you know, they don't have to know all the details of your life, but they know a little bit about your story, and they're like, oh my God, I want to be like teacher and so-and-so. I want to be like that person. Like, and by teacher, I mean, there's a lot of other professions that you could swap in here. You could be a hairdresser who shares, you know, who kind of has the same effect on people. You could be like an artist. There's something like you're creating. There's definitely this artistic energy that comes off of you. And this passion and this flair, this, all of it. Oh my gosh. Okay. I also want to see you in a card. I want to see you in one card, and then I'm going to get these quote cards to get like, you know, input from Spirit. So here's you in a card, glorious you, the biome connection. You know, I like that this wasn't like the sexy, beautiful goddess card, because we already know who you are. Like what you look like, what you feel like, what it's like to be around you in that way. But you are, there is like, you make people feel connected. You make people feel, what do they want? Like, you make them ask themselves, like, what do I want? What she has. I want to feel the way she or he feels. I want a piece of that. Like, how do I get that? How do I achieve that? And I feel like there's this connection that you connect the pieces in people's lives. I don't know how else to say that. And it's kind of out there and random, but you help people connect the pieces. You help them feel what it is they need to feel for like an answer, for a missing puzzle piece, to like, you kind of give them that like aha moment. You really, and this is your depth. This is your gift. You know what I mean? This is you, and you present beautifully, and you're lovely, and you're always going to be this like outgoing creature that people just want to like reach out and touch. But there is this piece of like this pared down like simplicity to you that is also really lovely and really pleasing and really just incredible. You're fun. You're the person, like your friends, like even your married friends are asking you to go on vacation with them. Like, hey, do you want to do a girls trip? You know, it's like, you're just, people want to be around you. You're something else in a lovely way. Okay. Here is, Spirit says this is your gift. This is like your gift from Spirit. Like, this is what Spirit sees in you as being lovely and amazing and beautiful. And then we're going to get input from Spirit. Success and transformation. So yeah, there's a lot here. And I feel like it does speak to what I say. And I see this with this transformation piece and this kind of, this part of you that has transformed into this, whatever, all the beautiful words I could give you. But yeah, you have successfully, it's like you've completed your transformation. And I think you are truly like starting to step into this and own it and love it and embrace it and just work with it and probably make money off of it and like brand it. Like, this is you. And, you know, like I said, maybe you are a teacher and you're not totally branding it in the way that you realize it, but you still have a brand. Even with your friends, you still have a brand. Like, you're such a force. You're such a, kind of like a lone wolf, but without the darkness. Like, you're just this you're a mystery. You are actually still a mystery. But you stand alone. There's no one quite like you. And that's, you know, obviously for everyone, but, there's something very, just special and lovely and warm and fuzzy and kind of like supple and beautiful about you. And sexy. Yeah, you're all that. Okay. So this is input from Spirit, and then I'm going to wrap it up, but we've got, you are light. And, you know, not all these cards have some positive message, but like, they don't all have something that would speak to this pile necessarily. There are some pretty random messages, and you are light and you are beauty. And there's this kind of pink glow that comes off of you. And I like the blue here in the transformation. Like, you've been through the feelings, the emotions, the water. And this is, you know, these are water cards, and the 7 of Cups is that dreamer part. Like, you had to dream this, you had to make this happen. You made this happen for yourself. You had to want it bad enough, and you did it. And you, I don't know, like, you saw potential maybe when no one else did. You pulled yourself up like by your bootstraps maybe, or if you did come from privilege, I still don't think this came easy for you. I just get this feeling like you did this. So a high five. And this does impact people. This seems like it's more about you and less about how you impact people, but I'm reaching all this by analyzing you. It has a tremendous impact on people, and it is inspiring and uplifting. And yeah, you are light. So I'll end on this note, and the you are light is it's so glowing. It's so warm. It's warmth. It's the hearth, you know, it's the fire, the hearth, the core of it all. There's just a lot of light and substance to you. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope it tracks. I hope it feels like you. It's a beautiful reading, and I hope to see you again for another reading. So thank you so much. Like, subscribe, comment if you haven't already. And thank you. Goodbye.